So as we all know by now, President Trump has signed 2 executive orders, both of which revive the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines, and both orders mandate that these pipelines be constructed in a manner that's expedited. So he's giving these companies the right of way, so that way they can hurry up and push these pipelines through before the public resistance becomes too overwhelming. Now, these are problematic, one, because both of these pipelines threaten the environment, but he says that he signed them because they will create thousands of jobs. Well, that's not correct. When it comes to the Keystone XL pipeline, Republicans constantly talk about how thousands of jobs will be created, but what they don't tell you is that only 35 permanent jobs will be created, and those thousands of jobs, those are just temporary. And when it comes to the Dakota Access Pipeline, this not only violates the territorial sovereignty of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, but it threatens the drinking water of 17 million people, including Standing Rock. So these orders are not acceptable, and we're still going to fight, even though it seems as though we have no legal recourse and that we're backed into a corner. And someone who is definitely planning to fight and says he's going to do everything in his power to stop these pipelines is Bernie Sanders. He released a statement saying millions of people came together all over this country to stop the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines and say we must transform our energy system away from fossil fuels to renewable energy. Today, President Trump ignored the voices of millions and put the short-term profits of the fossil fuel industry ahead of the future of our planet. At a time when the scientific community is virtually unanimous in telling us that climate change is caused by human activity and it is already causing devastating problems, we cannot afford to build new oil pipelines that lock us into burning fossil fuels for years to come. I will do everything I can to stop these pipelines and protect our planet for future generations. So let's be realistic here. The situation is grim. It looks grim, and it looks as though we're going to lose, and that these pipelines will in fact be constructed against the desires of grassroots activists, against the sovereign right of Native Americans, like the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, to reject this from being built on their land, and it's going to threaten the drinking water of millions of people, as I stated. And it's not just a matter of if these pipelines break, it's inevitable. It's a matter of when they're going to break, because these pipelines burst all the time. In fact, North Dakota had an oil spill not too long ago, and yet they're already going through with another pipeline. I want to add one more thing to what Bernie Sanders said here. This is more than Donald Trump just ignoring the American people and the millions of people who want us to move towards renewable energy. This is about a conflict of interest. This is about corruption. So CBS News explains Donald Trump holds stock in the company building the disputed Dakota Access oil pipeline, and pipeline opponents warn that Trump's investments could affect any decision he makes on the $3.8 billion project as president. Trump's 2016 federal disclosure forms show he owned between 15,000 and 50,000 in stock in Texas-based Energy Transfer Partners. That's down from between 500,000 and 1 million a year earlier. Trump also owns between 100,000 and 250,000 in Phillips 66, which has 1/4 share of Dakota Access. And he's also received thousands in campaign contributions from an executive at the Energy Transfer Partners company. He will stand to profit personally in seeing these pipelines constructed. This is corruption. This is overt, brazen corruption. Now, the media previously reported, incorrectly so, that he no longer had stock in it. But he does. That was incorrect, actually. Donald Trump has stock in the Dakota Access Pipeline. So his executive order on this is literally a legitimate act of corruption. And as a result, this executive order should be invalidated. And Donald Trump should be impeached for signing an executive order that benefits a company that he's invested in. As president, you can't push for policies that you personally profit from. That's not the way that democracy works, Donald Trump. What democracy is about is what the American people want. And the American people did not elect you to pass these pipelines. So I think that if Donald Trump does not rescind these executive orders that cancel out the Keystone and especially the Dakota Access Pipeline, then I want Democrats in Congress to stand up and actually start pushing for impeachment, because this is corruption. His first week in office, and we've already seen a legitimate act of corruption. We don't have to wait for him to do more damage. We can start pushing for impeachment right now, because a president that pushes for policies that will make him personally profit is a president that's corrupt and that does not deserve to be in office. It's time to impeach him. Democrats, step up.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.